People, for the most part, hold firm to the idea that emotion, as much as cognition, separates humans from animals and robots. Of course, this may stem as much from residual aspects of a lingering romanticism as it does reliable fears regarding the loss of self in the face of industrial production and consumption. It has been demonstrated by quite a bit of research from media studies of a cognitive science bent that users attribute human characteristics, cognition, and affect to machines and screens, most famously in the work discussed in Nass and Reeves' book, The Media Equation. Humans on screen take on this form of agency, parallel to, yet completely congruent with, what we would identify as the qualities that mark one as a star or a celebrity. Anthropologist Lucy Suchman describes one of the more famous versions of the Turing test employed in an early artificial intelligence system called Doctor. As you will recall, the Turing test suggests that if you have an agent behind a wall or screen, and that agent interacts with a human being, that the test of whether that agent is intelligent is whether or not the human interlocutor believes, based on the evidence of interaction at hand, that the agent behind the screen is a human being like him or herself. In Suchman's example, the Doctor program relies on what Suchman refers to, referencing sociologist Karl Mannheim, as a documentary method of interpretation. The Doctor program engages users by asking for generalized information regarding whatever psychological problems they are facing, and then repeats back verbatim parts of their reply. Obviously, it's also an ironic commentary on the Rogerian method of psychotherapy. The patient states a feeling they're having, and then the therapist program repeats it back to them. Suchman states, very simply, the documentary method refers to the observation that people take appearances as evidence for, or document of, an ascribed underlying reality, while taking the reality so ascribed as a resource for the interpretation of the appearance. Thus, the appearance of intelligence allows the user to believe that the more complicated processes that normally underlie intelligence are at work behind the formal attributes being displayed by an agent system. The appearance of emotion is likewise assumed by a user to have a depth of meaning generating display that characterizes a given emotion, i.e., tears as a signifier for sadness and such. People, for the most part, hold firm to the idea that emotion, as much as cognition, separates humans from animals and robots. Of course, this may stem as much from residual aspects of a lingering romanticism as it does reliable fears regarding the loss of self in the face of industrial production and consumption.